I'm going to go ahead and delete all of these keyframes. And I'm just going to again have my clip travel from left to right. We are now going to talk about temporal interpolation. Temporal interpolation refers to changes in time. When the interpolation starts and ends all at the same speed, there is no change in the rate of the interpolation. This is known as linear. In this case, our clip is moving from left to right and is always going at the same speed. It's not accelerating, it's not decelerating, or anything like that. When this happens, this is known as linear interpolation. And remember, we're referring now to temporal interpolation, which are changes in time. Well, nothing in nature really moves like that. There is always a gradual acceleration or a gradual deceleration that occurs with changes. After Effects is quite aware of this, which is why it created for us a very easy shortcut to create a gradual acceleration and deceleration with just one keystroke. I'm going to go ahead and select both of these keyframes by clicking on the word position. And now I'm going to use the shortcut, which is F9. This is for easy ease. Easy ease just means that there will be a gradual acceleration out of the keyframe or an ease out. And there will also be a gradual deceleration into the next keyframe or an ease in. Again, the shortcut is F9. As you can see, a couple of things happened. My keyframes now changed shape. They now look like hourglasses. This is our visual indication that we are now playing around with time. Our timing is now not linear. Another thing that happened was here in the composition panel. Let me zoom in using Command+ on the Mac or Control+ on Windows. And we can move around once we're zoomed in by using the Hand tool. The shortcut for the Hand tool is press and hold the space bar. Notice that the path that the clip is taking to go from left to right is made out of dots. Each one of these dots represents a moment in time. Closer together dots means slower speed, and farther apart dots means faster speed. In this case, all of the dots are at a slightly different spacing from each other. To view this a little bit more clearly, we could use the graph editor here in the timeline. That is this icon right here. What we see here is a speed curve. This is our visual indication in the timeline that our clip will start at one speed and accelerate. It will achieve maximum speed around here, and then it will gradually decelerate. I'm going to go ahead and play the timeline so that we can see this a little bit better. I'll zoom out and press the space bar. As you can see, there is a gradual acceleration and a gradual deceleration, although it's very, very slight. We can further customize this by clicking on the keyframe right here on the graph editor and adjusting these handles. As we adjust the handles, notice that the dots that represent the speed in the comp panel change their position. This clip now will start really slow. At around here it's going to go at maximum speed, and then it's going to go really slow again. Let's see how this works. As you can see, this interpolation is very different than what we had before. It's communicating a different idea, and it's just doing something completely different. It is important to change the temporal interpolation so that we can communicate our ideas a little bit better. There's one more interpolation that I would like to talk about. Let me go ahead and exit the graph editor view, and I'll delete these position keyframes. I'm going to create new ones by starting the clip here on the bottom left, and I'm just going to move it around. Notice that the auto Bézier is being created for us. Also notice that the timing of these keyframes is not even throughout. In other words, these right here, if we zoom in, we'll see that these dots are a lot closer together than, say, these ones right here. That means that the motion between this keyframe and this keyframe is going to be much slower. If we would like for our motion to remain even between all of the keyframes, we can select all of them, right-click one of them. All of the changes will affect all of them since they're all selected. And let's go to keyframe interpolation. And basically we're going to go to this property, which is roving. We are going to indicate to the keyframes that we would like for them to rove across time. Click OK. What happens is this. The timing between all of the keyframes is going to remain even throughout. In other words, if I deselect and I grab this keyframe and I move it closer, all of my keyframes become slower or faster depending on where I'm dragging. The important thing is that the rate of change between all of the keyframes will be even throughout. I can even select all of the keyframes and use Easy Ease, which is F9, and the gradual acceleration and the gradual deceleration will occur taking into account all of the keyframes. So this is going to be one big motion which will start, accelerate, go to its fastest, and then gradually decelerate. Again, this is known as roving in time.